Hey friends! How are you today? Welcome back to See Elise. In honor of spooky season, today you're gonna see Elise react to some spooky kids and some of the spookiest things that they've said to their parents. So Lila Sturgis posted on Twitter, "What's the eeriest thing a child has ever said to you?" And the retweets and the responses to this were, let's read some. When my daughter was around 4 or 5, she calmly insisted that she had once been married to a man named Brad Huffington. When we asked what had happened to him, she replied with a note of sadness, "He was lost at sea." Oh my God. My daughter would stand up in her crib and wave and say, "Hi, Seesaw," on a regular basis. One day, she saw an old photo of my recently passed grandfather as a young man. She got really excited and yelled, "Seesaw!" His name was Cecil. Oh my God, I love these. My daughter never said anything like ghostly or supernatural or anything, but there was one time she was probably like 4 and she told my husband something along the lines of, "We still have time before dying day." And he was like, "Dying day? What's dying day?" And she was like, "The day when everyone on the planet dies." And he was like, is it soon? Is it coming up? And she was like, "Nah." When my son was around 4 or 5, he said, "Do you remember back when I was big and you were little and we used to eat lunch by the river?" He's named after his grandfather who used to take me to the river for picnics. That is so creepy. Work is so creepy. There was some classical music on the radio in the background and my then 3-year-old stopped, listened and said, "I used to play the violin." Dude, that would freak me out. When my daughter was 4, she started calling me Tweety Bird. My grandma called me that. I hadn't heard that since my grandmother died when I was 10. Like that one I feel like maybe the daughter overheard it, you know? I don't know, but maybe not. Creepy. For years, our son had dreams about being a boy called William who lived in a cabin before electricity. He described his life in great details. That stopped when he was about 12. Years later, we found an ancestor on my wife's side was named William and died when he was 12. I'm so glad my daughter never said anything like this. One time though, my daughter did scare the shit out of me. Around the range of like 2 to 3, she loved to like run up and down the hall on her hands and feet, like not crawling on her knees, on her hands and her feet, like a gorilla. She was just up and down the hallway. That's normal. Everybody's kid does that. Yeah, we had this long carpeted hallway and our bedroom doors were at the end facing each other. So I didn't know she was doing her morning calisthenics, running back and forth. I'm putting laundry away and I'm going from my bedroom to hers. And out of my peripheral vision, I just see like, it was silent too, because she weighed like 30 pounds. So on all fours, just this creature barreling towards me down the hall. It was like a quiet place. I dropped the laundry basket, like my heart stopped. I jumped out of my body. I think that took like 6 months off my life. And she was like, "What?" Parenthood is not for the faint-hearted. My child was about 5, and when I was dropping her off at daycare, she grabbed my face with both hands and said, "Mama, be careful," with a very serious face. I got into a car accident about 10 minutes later. I would never be the same after that. I would never be the same after that. We lived close to a nursing home until my son was 3.5. On our daily walks, we would pass by it and he would run into the grass to play and talk to all the grandmas and grandpas outside. There was never anyone outside. Nope. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. I would be changing my walking route. A friend's child insisted on sleeping with infant siblings, explaining, "The baby still knows how to talk to God. I am forgetting how." My daughter, age 3, pointed at my boobs one afternoon and said, "Those are for milk." I said, "They used to be when she was a baby, but not anymore." And she said, "No, they are again." And then 2 days later, I found out I was pregnant. I know that like animals can like sense like disease and like hormonal changes and stuff. I wonder if like that kid like smelled it. Like I can smell like you are with child. Your hormones have changed. Or maybe they got bigger right away. Like, "Hey mom, those look bigger." Milk. 9-year-old, "Can I sleep with you?" "Why?" "I had a dream about the lullaby lady." "Who?" "An old woman with no skin on her hands." Why do you call her that? Because she stands next to your bed and hums while you sleep. Sure, just let Daddy put the house up for sale real quick. Oh my God. My God, an old woman with no skin on her hands that sings you lullabies. That would be a really good scary movie. That's some Babadook shit. That's awesome. I mean, not awesome, it's scary. Ooh, that's awesome. I'm gonna write that screenplay. My daughter, when she was like 4, crawled into my bedroom while under a blanket and eerily intoned, "One must be lost for one to be found." She did this 3 times and then left the way she came in. I will never forget the first time that my kid walked herself into my bedroom on her own in an adorable little nightgown and like walked right up to me and said, "Mommy." From a dead sleep to open your eyes and see and hear that scared the shit out of me. I should probably watch less scary movies. I was scared of my own daughter. I almost drop kicked her across the room. I was like, no. My bestie died suddenly when I was 28. Aww. It was a complete shock, and I'm still shook. About 6 years ago, my then 3-year-old asked me a lot of questions about what I did before he was born. In the middle of answering, he says, "Yeah, I remember. We were best friends, weren't we?" Kids are freaky! Ugh. Come, little children, I'll take thee away. My mom and sister ran a taxi with my nephew when he was about 3. He pointed at a branch of Claire's accessories and said, "When I was a big boy and I was a fireman, I used to go in that pet shop." Elderly taxi driver almost crashed, said it had been a pet shop when he was a kid. That kind of stuff freaks me out, man. That is crazy. I'm not gonna be okay after reading all these. I was with my sister, her husband, and their 2-year-old daughter. We were talking about loved ones that had recently passed. My father had died sometime recently. My brother-in-law went and grabbed a picture of his mother who had died in a car crash when he was 6 to show me. When my niece saw the picture, she started laughing. We asked her what was so funny, and she looked at us and said, "That's my special friend who sings to me." I still shiver a bit just thinking about it. I shivered a bit just hearing about it. Jesus, take the wheel. At age 5, my son drew a portrait of our family of 4 with 2 tiny upside down people. A year later, I gave birth to twins. Oh my God, it looks like they're little angels flying down. I feel like there's little sperms there. Oh, I would not be okay after that. The woman was too stunned to speak. Our 3-year-old daughter was playing happily. She suddenly stopped and said, "The last time I was here, I was sitting by the river and some men came and threw me in. I died." She then went on playing and has no recollection of this incident. It was so chilling. Kids are so bonkers. This is bonkers. Some of you at home are like taking an extra birth control pill. When my niece was about 2.5, she told her dad on the way to daycare that they forgot the diaper bag for her sister, who was about 6 months old. My brother-in-law turned around to go back home for the bag. On the way back to daycare, there was a fatal accident involving both the cars that were originally ahead and behind him. He asked her why she told him about the bag. Her answer, the little girl in the front seat told her. No. Oh my God. I may never recover from this. My youngest, she's 28 now, used to be scared to go upstairs alone, even during the day. We had one bathroom upstairs. She would wait for anyone else to go up, then she'd race upstairs to the bathroom. I finally got her to tell me why she was so scared of the upstairs, even in daylight. She told me this scary old witch lady would appear in near their closet. She described her crazy hair, her claw hands, and how small and hunched over she was. No. A few days later, we were at my parents' house and I asked my mom for any photos of her mom. My daughter freaked right the hell out. This scary lady was my mom's mom. She had severe rheumatoid arthritis and used a wheelchair, small, hunched over. Her hands were misshapen from the RA with big knots on her knuckles and her fingers were bent like claws. The crazy hair was because she had to wait for someone else to comb it for her. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Well, at least now they know that it was just like nice grandma trying to visit. She was scary looking, but she was probably nice. We were at our friend's home and it hadn't been very long since they had moved in. While moving, they found a creepy dollhouse in the attic. Burn it. Burn it. Nothing too crazy, just kind of weird. No, that's crazy. During our stay, my 2-year-old daughter fell out of bed. The next morning, my husband jokingly asked her, "Did mommy push you out of bed?" She matter-of-factly said, "No, the monster pulled me out of bed." After a beat, my husband asked her what the monster's name was. She calmly said, "Timothy." We do not know a Timothy, and don't know where she would have heard that name. She also looked at the ceiling when she said it.
Timothy?
Was it Timothy Chalamet? I wouldn't mind it if the monster living in the ceiling was Timothy Chalamet. My grandmother and great-grandmother lived next to my mom. One day, we were visiting them, and the whole time we were there, my son was chattering and playing with something. He was 4 at the time. As we were leaving my great-grandmother's room, he starts waving and says, "Bye, Gordon. Bye, Gordon." Gordon was the name of my great-grandmother's son who died 70 years earlier at the age of 4. That would really frighten me. These are spooking me out, you guys. Okay. A few months ago, I was staying at my sister's house. The first night I was there, I woke up in the middle of the night because I felt like I couldn't breathe. It was like something was blocking my mouth. Once I was finally fully awake, it subsided and I was able to fall back asleep. The next morning, I went into the dining room for breakfast and my 7-year-old nephew says, "Hey, Auntie, who was the little boy who went into your room last night with no eyes?" No, no. Okay, that's it for this video. I can't take any more. I can't hear about any more creepy children. Thank you guys for watching. Tune in next week. I'll react to some other crazy shit. Okay, bye.